In today's landscape photography adventure, we take you on a road trip to the worst national park in America.
It's not that bad.
Where Jason eats disgusting snacks.
You enjoy that bag of worms. Get them down, yeah.
And I have to struggle with a toy camera.
The screen looks like an iPhone from 2007.
And you get to enjoy the much anticipated return of BOOT-STENCH.
Do you like that fragrance, love?
It's disgusting.
But before we get into it, this is where I would usually thank my video's sponsor, but I don't have one. But what I do have, just in case you wanted to help support this channel and keep it going, is my book, Stories Within Stories, which you can order right now. And if you do, I'll sign it for you and ship it directly to your door. There's a link in the description if you're interested. Right, let's go on a road trip to the worst national park in the USA and see if I can't just get at least one pretty picture. Sounds doable. Now, you know me, I much prefer to wear appropriate footwear, but for a hike like this, with so many critters, I think the sensible thing is for me to wear some boots.
No!
You're not afraid of a little bit of BOOT-STENCH, are you?
So you get rid of those in Utah?
Well, I did, but you know, bought a new pair.
Why do they stink already?
Try it. They're not bad. No, don't throw them away. Just stick your beak in and have a whiff. They smell like fresh out of the factory. Go and get me, bull.
Do you wear those shoes?
It's not that bad. Honestly, it's worse. So honestly, I don't know why they call this the worst national park in the States. Clearly it must be quite good because this place is packed. It's like 300 cars here. I thought we'd get here and there'd be 2 other cars and we'd be like, oh no. So I don't know what the main attraction is, but anyway, we're just going to do this boardwalk hike and see what we can see. Maybe there's some nice stuff.
Well, there will be.
I didn't bring bug spray or my thermocell and I put my shorts on, so this might be quite awful.
I'm sure the stench of your boots will keep most things away.
Honestly, love, there's no... try it. There's no...
No, get out!
Honestly, it's not... Try it! You know, she's only playing it up. It doesn't smell that bad. It's a bit stringent, that. Try it, So the thing that Congaree National Park has is miles of boardwalk through this forest, and hopefully it sort of opens up some little pond, lakes, interesting areas with cool trees. That's what I'm hoping for, and if we're lucky we might see some gators. Although that one yesterday took some beating. That was a whopper, wasn't it?
That was huge.
So yeah, the challenge is to find something beautiful in this national park, to bump it up so that it's no longer the worst national park in the US. And judging from the number of people in the car park, maybe they don't realise that. So we committed to the hike, and it actually began to look quite pretty, and we were really enjoying the forest until the stench hit. So we're about 20 minutes on the trail, and we were assailed by this very heady stench, which we immediately knew was something dead. And we think that this over here is a dead pig. See it down there, some sort of wild boar that hasn't been eaten.
It stinks.
Do you like that fragrance, love?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it turned you off your lunch.
I haven't had any lunch and I'm not going to get any around here.
Well, I do have an American chocolate bar called Fifth Avenue, which I might share with you.
I would like 3rd Avenue.
It's wafting this way.
Oh. Actually, that's my boots. The boardwalk seemed endless, so we decided to come off the main trail and find a side quest, and things did start to look a little bit better. So this is the first almost photo-worthy scene that I've spied since we've been here in the national park. So I'm just going to keep that in the memory bank, but carry on hiking for a bit. And if I don't see anything better, then I'll make an effort to shoot that when we come back.
If you find a picture in here, I'd be amazed.
Really?
Yeah.
That's, well, I mean, that is the challenge I've set myself. What are you prepared to give if I can get a picture?
Well, anything, because it's not going to happen.
Anything?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'd really love?
What's that?
A foot massage.
No. Maybe I'm not going to give you anything.
Oh, all right. You're all mouth and no trousers, I get it.
At this point, the forest actually started to become quite fascinating. I mean, look at this root system here, and I really loved all of these knees poking up from the ground. Just imagine this with the right amount of water for some gorgeous reflexions. But it was time for a well-earned break.
All right, now, as you know, on this show, I like to give local chocolate manufacturers a chance to shine. And so I've got two choices. I've got either Fifth Avenue, which is crunchy peanut butter candy with rich chocolatey coating, but it's kind of melted. So that's going to be messy. Or my other option is some Larvette's original worm snacks, which are Mexican spice flavored worms. I think they're fried. I hope they're fried, or maybe they're just dried out. And they're not moving, so I think they're dead. Not recommended for people with a shellfish allergy. Oh no, I've got a shellfish allergy. There you go.
Jason?
Jason, you want some worm snacks?
Are they keto?
Of course.
100%, yes.
I mean, I'd never pass down a snack. Mexican spice.
Well, you know it's going to be good.
It burns twice. Y'all had breakfast, right, this morning? So you're not hungry?
No, I'm
sure you don't want them?
No, do you know, I'm just going to eat the peanut bar thing.
Your chocolate bar's all melted though.
Well, you know, it doesn't have shellfish in it, so you enjoy that bag of worms. Get them down, yeah. How is it?
Oh, it's great.
Dry?
Very.
Can you taste the Mexican spice now that you've eaten all?
Something Mexican.
So there you go, Larvette's original worm snacks. Out of 10, what would you give those out of 10?
I'm gonna go sit on that stump again.
Oh, such a shame we didn't get the chance to try them. They looked delicious.
Have you ever had pork rinds?
Yeah, I like pork rinds.
Yeah, they're not as good as pork rinds.
You know, I reckon that Congaree National Park could actually be quite beautiful when it's in full bloom and everything's green. I mean, look at that. It's gorgeous. But can anybody tell me what these weird little holes are in the mud? I bet it's baby alligators, right? And then I finally found a shot worthy of putting the camera on the tripod.
All right, I think I've risen to the challenge. And just to prove that any old clown with a split in his kecks and a cheap under $500 camera can take a beautiful shot of the worst national park in the USA, I have strapped on the Fujifilm X-M1 featuring the TT Artisans. I think is it a 25mm prime lens. It cost me $60, brand new. It's the cheapest lens I have ever purchased. So we'll see what kind of results you get, but I'll show you the composition. I'll explain what I'm trying to go for here. Right, so for me, it is all about this beautiful reflexion of these trees. You can see these trees here. Obviously, I don't want the bridge in my frame, so I'm basically composing this so that I've got a little bit of cropping space. Let's wake up, you piece of shit. Oh, there we go, right. So yeah, it's just about these beautiful trees and this gorgeous reflection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop off the top like that, and then I'm going to crop off the bottom like that. So you'll just have this 65-24 strip through the center, and I think that that will actually look really beautiful, even though we don't have much in the way of color right now, and even though there isn't an alligator in the front of my shot there. But after I've finished processing this, there could be a massive one with a bobcat riding it. But I think I've risen to the challenge. Now, because this camera is relatively atrocious, and by that what I mean is you're never really sure if you got focus, because while you're focusing through live view, it might be focused. And then when you hit playback and zoom in, who can tell? The screen looks like an iPhone from 2007. So you just don't know truly if you've nailed the shot until you get back home and load it up on the computer. But if I did manage to get focus and I did manage to nail the shot, here is the shot.
Now, at first glance, you might be thinking, the image quality of that cheap camera is pretty good, but I lied. What you're actually looking at is the same shot captured with the Hasselblad. Now, this is what the cheap camera and lens captured, which looks like psychedelic Lego. But I reckon with a high quality lens, the Fujifilm might produce much better results. So post a comment and let me know which wide-angle lens I should buy for this camera, because this lens is sharp-pank.
I don't think that wearing a white top and some very pale pants into a forest that's brown, that's covered in brown, and is guaranteed to get you brown was a good idea. There's lots of brown on my attire now. Anyway, I've framed up a nice little sort of window into this reflexion here. And you might look at this and think, but Gavin, that's brown. Everything is brown. But what I'm thinking is, because of that reflexion, black and white. I'm thinking that I'm going to go black and white with this. So let me just show you what's on the back of the camera and I'll explain my thought process. It might not work, but it's worth a try. So as you can see, I've gone for a pretty, I think that might be a 16:9. And it's a pretty wide shot. I've got the 20-35 on and I'm at about 30 millimeters. So way off in the distance, I've got that lovely reflexion. But then as we get closer to the foreground, I've got this bookended by this tree here, that one there, and then in this foreground we've got these lovely pokey knees sticking up out of the ground. So I think that that is probably going to be a nice composition. Now, because I'm pretty close to these knees in the foreground, I'm going to have to focus stack this. So I'm doing this using the hopscotch method that I cover in my course, Focus Stacking for Landscapes. So if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description below. But basically, I think I can get this in 4 shots. I can just focus on 4 different points in the frame, and I reckon that will get me a sharp image. Anyway, if this shot turns out to be any good, and if the black and white works, here's a shot.
So the focus stack turned out great, but to be honest, this composition's a little bit too complicated. So I switched to doing simple handheld compositions with no focus stacking, and things got a lot better. So, did I achieve my goal? Did I find something beautiful in the worst national park in America? It was time to say goodbye to Congaree and hello to some tacos. And of course, we had to wash those tacos down with a few margaritas. Delicious. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of these Patreon supporters shown here. You really do make it possible for this channel to continue. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, I'll put a link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.